I knew this day was coming. I just can't keep it up anymore. I have to do this. Hey, I'm Xlonic, a very tiny tuber who suffers from an unreasonable amount of creator burnout. And I'm here to proclaim that I'm taking a break until the end of the year. Should be around 7 months if I post this when I think I did. But a fun fact about YouTube is that after around 2 weeks to a month of not posting, your content stops getting recommended, meaning you have to keep creating despite burnout, or else everything you've worked for months on a time will suffer and your efforts will all be in vain. Okay, hey, Xlonic from the edit here. I don't know where I got these statistics from, so, yeah. Anyway, bye. But as I stated in the beginning, I've been preparing for this day for a long time now. I'll explain a little more what I mean at the end, so either stick around or skip to the end. I don't really care anymore. Okay, so first things first. Creator burnout. Huh, am I right? Now you might be thinking, hey, you only have like 10 returning viewers and only post once a month. How the heck can you get burnout? Well, my slightly judgmental person that I made up just to make a point, I still have feelings, don't I? I still have a life, don't I? Okay, but in all seriousness, I do need to talk about YouTuber grind mentality. Specifically, the way it applies to small channels because, well, I am a small channel. Essentially, for tiny tubers like me, it's the idea that if we ever stop making content and uploading consistently, our channels will fail. You see this sort of thing being pushed around a lot by YouTube gurus. Think vidIQ or Think Media. Now, to clarify, I'm just using those channels as examples of what guru channels look like. I'm not necessarily calling them out on anything. I'm also not saying the advice is inherently bad or toxic, but it can become that way if either the viewer or the creator isn't careful. I'll leave you to decide for yourself who is to blame, if anyone. Here's an example. Think something along the lines of a video titled, "You could just be one video away." You click on it, get a burst of motivation, and believe yourself more capable, so you work hard on a video. Then you post it, waiting for your efforts to pay off, and they don't. The video underperforms. Horribly. But you remember, you kept seeing people saying that most of the time when your video fails, it's because you, the creator, did something wrong. It's not luck, guys. So now you're motivated again. Yes, this time you'll make a better video and you won't make the same mistakes again. And maybe this time it does do a little better, but it's not as good as you hoped. It's not even reaching 100 views. But it wasn't supposed to do that. Why did it do that? Oh, but I can't quit though. I can't stop though. I need dopamine, and I'd prefer it right now. I must create, feed the algorithm for myself and my addiction. If I stop, I will fail. Look, around 90% of all channels never even pass 1,000 subscribers. Although this number does kind of depend on what source you're looking at, but in general, 99% of over 110 million active channels. So what you'll see is a lot of YouTube advice channels is them focusing on beating the odds rather than the very high chance of failure. Which sure, if you're one of those channels that does succeed, that's amazing. But that doesn't mean we should ignore the very real chance of failure. I think I thought I knew what humility felt like. For once in my life, one of my dreams isn't achievable. Is this the harsh truth of life? Am I living a lie, being told that anything is possible if you just believe? Probably, but there's a better way to learn this. Perhaps, worst of all, some of these channels treat failure like it's avoidable if you watch their stuff or pay for some YouTube course. And most of all, they push things like YouTube optimization over creativity, which leads to the generic and bland content you likely see all over your feed. The problem is by doing this, you're setting those who do fail to become addictive to your channel because they believe it helps. And when it doesn't help, if you're somebody who's struggled with mental health like myself, you might even get seriously depressed. I speak from experience. And what about the people who refuse to do those things said in the videos? Are they just going to believe that they're automatically a failure forever? Without even trying? And that's not even mentioning how this shapes the YouTube landscape as a whole. As I mentioned before, it leads to the generic, bland, repetitive, Mr. Beastification, you know, all that jazz. But I already cut out a lot of this script to keep it from becoming nothing more than me venting and rambling about how I don't really like talking about these issues on my channel. I mean, it's supposed to be a place away from the problems of real life, not something that highlights them on a daily basis. But that's a whole other discussion I don't really want to get into. After all, this is a gaming challenge channel, not a me venting about life channel. But just remember, all this stuff only applies to someone who actually cares about things like views. Unfortunately, that someone is me. And I don't want it to be. So now it's the end of the video, and I've come to announce my plan for my break. It's a little thing I like to call Xlonix Minis. Basically, it's the same thing you're used to. That is, if you actually watch my stuff, which chances are you don't. The only difference is the challenges themselves usually aren't me completing the whole game, but instead me completing a section of the game. I also will be editing these a little less than I do my normal content. Oh, but before I forget, when I return, I also haven't decided if I will start posting inconsistently or continue with monthly videos. But I will keep you posted on my final decision using, well, community posts. So you guys basically get the same content, while I get a 7-month break. And I can, go outside for once and, like, I don't know, touch grass, I guess.